Today was the first day I got to dress in that green. We did a few position meetings, some team meetings, special teams, and we got on the field. Got a little bit of work today.
How did it feel to put on that green for the first time?
Felt good. It felt really good.
When we talked to Robert during the draft about you, Robert and Joe about you guys, one of the things that they said was how you bring kind of a nasty presence to the defense and the defensive line. What goes into that? And is that something you pride yourself on once you get on the field?
Once I get on the field, absolutely. As a defensive end, as a defensive player, first of all, you need that. You need that nasty, that tough, physical. That's what you think when you think defensive lineman, So for me, that's definitely one of the biggest assets of my game. Just make sure to turn that thing off when you walk off the field.
Can you describe, I think, had you not been injured and you didn't have the extended stay in college, do you think you had the ability to go much higher in the draft just based off your stats and the way you were able to produce last year? Do you think, you would have been a much higher pick? I guess what I'm asking is, do you think you have, first round ability?
Whether I go first round or fourth round, I believe in my ability as a football player. It's not up to me to make those decisions, and neither do I want it to be. The only thing in my control is to make sure that I'm ready to go, that I'm prepared to play whoever calls my name.
The Jets haven't had an edge rusher that's made a big impact in a long time. Is that something you're aware of? And is there motivation, since it hasn't happened in a while, to change that here?
I think what motivates me is to be the best that I can be. I know a little bit about the Jets' history, but I plan on making an impact no matter what the history was, whether they didn't have an end that made an impact or they did.
There's you look at pass rushers across the league, and there's a ton of different guys who do it a ton of different ways. You've got bull rushers, you've got the big guys, you've guys like Justin Tuck who did it inside and out, you've the speed rushers, all that kinds of things. Where and what kind of a player do you model yourself after? Is there someone in the league that you say, he does it a way that I want to do it, or he does it in a way very similar to how I do it?
I don't think it's one person that I would say I model my game after. I think there's a lot of great rushers and a lot of great defensive ends in this league, past and present. And I think that as I've developed into becoming a young player, I took a lot of things from a lot of different players and made it my own.
You have almost 35-inch arms, which is a real attribute for defensive linemen. How does that help your game? What are some of the things that having such long arms help you do as a defensive lineman?
I think having long arms complements my game, like my strengths. So whenever I'm doing a power move, if I can get separation on this guy and my arms are longer than his, he can't touch me. I have my hands on him, he can't win. There's no way for him to win if his hands aren't on me. So to get separation as a defensive end is something that you want, and it's definitely an asset.
What are some of your favorite pass rush moves to get around small tackles?
I can't give you my whole book, but I definitely like power move for sure. You make a guy quickly respect you when you hit him in the mouth over and over again. You're going to be thinking about that all day.
Have you met any of the veterans on the defensive line yet?
Oh, yes, I met Carl Lawson this morning. I've been watching that guy since I was in high school, so I think that was a really cool experience, and I look forward to learning from him.
Robert said before that Carl's kind of watched you guys, the draft picks. He's been studying the film and stuff. Did he mention anything to you that he's watched your game?
Not yet.
Can you take us through your journey getting to this point from high school to junior college to Texas A&M and now to this, just to kind of in a nutshell, what you've been through over the last few years?
So in high school, I went to Saxe High School, and I was playing on the opposite side of the ball. My senior year, I switched to linebacker, but I was injured that year, so I didn't really get too much experience. And therefore, I wasn't recruited out of high school because I didn't have enough film. So I walked on to a junior college. They had a tryout going on in the summertime, and I made the team that way. First time playing defensive end. I told them I wanted to play defensive end. I thought that's where I'd be more successful. I played one season at defensive end, and then I was recruited from Cisco Junior College to Texas A&M, and that's where the next step of my career began.
At what point would you say you had the NFL and this on your radar? When did it first? Was it always a dream, or when did you feel like this was really a possibility for you?
I think the first time I ever watched it on TV.
Yeah.
That's when I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Do you remember when that first time was?
I was 8 years old. I remember standing in our apartment and looking on TV. I think it was Thanksgiving, and we were watching. I forget who was playing, but we were watching somebody play on Thanksgiving, and I was like, yeah, that's going to be me.
But once you started that journey that you were just asked about a little bit, in high school, you're still trying to get playing time. You're a linebacker. You got hurt. You're not recruited. How realistic is it at that point that you could make it to this level? But once you got to Texas A&M, did it almost become more of a reality at that point that this is a real possibility for you? Or I guess was there one point that kind of flashed?
I'll say it this way. For me, as soon as I made the decision, like football is what I wanted to do, I committed to it, and I've always had faith that I would make it. Even if it looked rocky, even if I wasn't recruited, even if I didn't get much playing time in high school, I never lost that faith in myself to be able to do it. I was like, it may not be smooth, but it's going to happen. And so...
When you pushed to the offensive line with your body type, you look like a guy that coaches along the way. But can you play offensive tackle? Was that something that you had to fight along the way where people wanted you to play offensive tackle?
No. No one's ever asked me to play offensive tackle.
Because you really, you have that length that you talked about. Yeah, you have a great kick slider.
Hey, I might.
You said you played offense in high school, though. What position were you?
Running back.
Oh. Yes, right.
Y'all know Brandon Jacobs.
Yeah.
That's what. Hey, I was trying to beat Brandon Jacobs 2.0, man. Yeah. I
Probably
think.
got some guys pretty good.
Say again.
You probably got trucked some guys pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. Sure did.
Take a couple more. Obviously, you spent time in JUCO, so like, how difficult? Because there's horror stories across the board when it comes to junior college routes. So how difficult was that time for you?
I don't think junior college, it wasn't hard for me. It taught me a lot. It taught me to, first of all, in junior college, you don't have anybody telling you what to do. You don't have somebody telling you do your homework. You don't have somebody telling you go work out extra. You don't have somebody telling you, first of all, you don't have much money in JUCO. The food that you get, that calf is open from 5 to 7. So if you're not there between 5 and 7, you're out of luck. But I think junior college I'm grateful for that experience. It taught me hard work, dedication, and I had to be my own disciplinary in order for me to make it out of there.
Have you spoken to Jermaine Johnson at all? Obviously he's out there with you. He went through, that a little bit on his journey. Have you had a chance to speak to him at all?
Yeah, we speak, but we haven't spoken much about our junior and college experiences. Maybe it'll happen in the future.
Yeah. Are you familiar with his journey at all, or last chance of you thing and all that? Or?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
You mentioned obviously how this has been a road for you to get here. So when you did get the call from the Jets, who were you with, and what was that moment like when you realized you made it? You're in the NFL now.
When I got the call, I was alone in my apartment. I'd say grateful, definitely grateful for the opportunity to not only go in there and play for a great organization, but to represent myself and my family on the highest stage of football. And I'm just ready to get to work.
Why were you? Oh, it's not too personal, but why were you alone? Was there any reason behind that? Was it like a party in another room, or was it literally just you in your apartment?
Yeah, it was just me and my apartment.
You seem like a pretty low-key, mellow guy off the field, but on the field you are ferocious and people rave about your motor. How do you turn that on and off?
It's just a switch, man. I turn it off right when I'm getting ready to be a civilian again.
Do you like that? Do you like having that? That like as we sit here, we see you, man, this guy is pretty intense, but low key right now, but on the field, like Dan said, you like having that persona. Do you think that helped you, like with the Jets, wanting a guy to have that edge that you have?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Like, do you like having that kind of persona that, like, on the field, you are an intense dude, and like here, you're low key, but we could tell you got some personality to you.
I got you. I think that's just who I am. You know what I mean? On the field, animal. When I get off the field, I'm chilling. Low key, But yeah, I think that's just who I am and who I've always been.
Mike, is there any significance to piercings at all when you did those and all that kind of stuff?
No significance. Just my swag, that's all.
There's not really any big running back in the meeting room. You got to push Mike LaFleur, Robert Saleh for a little time in the backfield again. Right back.
Nah, I'm going to let them guys. They got it.